A large portion of our population is unaware of the systematic destruction of the American way of life that is taking place all around them. In the past, if you worked hard and watched your spending, you could provide for your entire family with a middle-class lifestyle in America with just one well-paying job. We can't say that back then everything was perfect, but even if you only had a high school education, almost everyone in the nation was capable of taking care of themselves without the need for government assistance. We put in a lot of work and recreation, and our ostensibly limitless prosperity served as an example for many other economies around the world. However, over the past few decades, things started to deteriorate. We started spending much more than we were earning. We exported about 50 million well-paying jobs. We built the largest mountain of debt in human history, and we kept electing politicians who didn't care about the long-term welfare of this country. We are on the verge of the next great economic recession, which puts millions of Americans in a very vulnerable position due to our all-time high level of governmental dependence. In this video, we will talk about 18 facts that American families are being economically destroyed. But before that, please like, subscribe, and click the bell button for the latest economic updates. Now let's get started. Here now are 18 signs that American families are being economically destroyed. Number 1. Currently, the average American spends $1,784 per month on housing, which works out to about $21,409 annually, and accounts for about 35% of their income. Those in the bottom 30% of the income scale earn an average of $14,000 per year, including the value of many government benefits like food stamps or disability payment. But they spend more than $25,000 or 182% of their annual income, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The poorest 40% of all Americans now spend more than 50% of their incomes just on food and housing. Number 2. The median wage in the U.S. is about $21 an hour. So the bottom 10% of Americans would need to spend about 55% of their income to pay for a one-bedroom rental, as they make on average $11.17 an hour. Rents are continuing to rise across America. Today, a worker must earn about 40 cents an hour to afford a modest one-bedroom rental. Number 3. There is not a single county in the United States where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford a modest two-bedroom rental given the state of the housing market today. The federal minimum wage is currently set at $7.25 per hour. Number 4. According to the Consumer Expenditure Survey, approximately 75% of expenditures for families living in or close to poverty go toward food, transportation, rent, utilities, and cell phone service, leaving them with only 15% to spend on other needs like education, child care, and health. Number 5. Currently, at least 1.54 million students cannot afford their school meals because the cost of lunches has increased at many schools across the country over the past 2 years, costing more than $3 per meal. Based on the national total, the average meal debt per child is $170.13 a year, while the national public school meal debt is $262 million a year. According to the most recent School Nutrition Association Trends Report, 43 school districts saw an increase in the number of students who couldn't afford meals last year. Number 6. The price of a pound of ground beef has increased from $2.41 in 2008 to $4.60 in 2022. Compared to a year ago, prices for fats and oils increased by 15% just last month, while those for flour, milk, and eggs increased by 14%. Fish and seafood sales increased by 11%. Price increases of at least 10% have been seen in bakery goods, cereal, and processed fruits and vegetables. Sweets increased by 8%. Dairy products increased 7%. Baby food increased by 11%. Beef increased by 6%, and pork increased by 15%. Number 7. In contrast to this year, when the average family's child care expenses are close to 10% of the average income, or 40% more than the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimate, working families' child care costs for all families in 2015 were 7.2% of total family income. Number 8. All of the gains from economic growth over the past 50 years have gone to the top 1% of income earners, and when adjusted for current inflation levels, incomes in the bottom half of the U.S. income distribution have decreased. According to a study by Austin and Splinter, the top 1%'s pre-tax growth over the past 10 years was 157.1%, compared to only 26.9% for the bottom half. Number 9. According to a recent study by the anti-poverty organization Oxfam America, nearly 52 million workers or almost 30% of the country's labor force, earn less than $15 per hour. This means that more than 50 million Americans made less than $31,200 last year. Caitlin Henderson, the study's author and senior research advisor at Oxfam America, has emphasized that it is shameful that some of the hardest working Americans, particularly those who keep our economy and society running, are struggling to make ends meet and are falling behind at a time when many U.S. companies are reporting record profits. Number 10. The median household income in the United States was $69,560 in 2020. That figure dropped to $67,521, and in 2021, it fell once again to $50,890. This was the first significant drop in household income since 2001. Number 11. In 1995, the average American household had a net worth of $213,132.62. But by 2021, that figure had fallen to $121,730. In contrast, the typical American person owes $9,460,000, while the typical household owes $155,622. Number 12. In a recent survey conducted by the personal finance website Bankrate, more than half of Americans, or about 51%, reported having emergency savings of less than 3 months' worth. Additionally, the survey revealed that 56% of Americans are unable to cover an unexpected $1,000 bill with their savings. Americans report having no savings at all, with 25% of them saying this. Number 13. Workers are finding it more difficult to make ends meet as costs rise. According to one survey, 2/3 of American workers currently live paycheck to paycheck, or 7 out of 10 people struggle to make ends meet each month. Number 14. According to data gathered by Investopedia, approximately 66% of graduates from public colleges have loans to pay off, and of those, roughly 43% are currently in default on their student loan debt repayments. In total, borrowers in the United States who attend colleges owe nearly $1.75 trillion in student loan debt, which is distributed among about 46 million borrowers. This is about $440 billion more than the total amount of money in the U.S. economy. Number 15. According to new data from Debt.com, a provider of consumer financial education, 57% of Americans who have medical debt owe at least $1,000, with diagnostic tests, hospital stays, and/or visits making up the majority of these debts. This is an increase from 46% a couple of years ago. According to Allison Sesso, executive director of RIP Medical Debt, a nonprofit organization that purchases consumer debt from healthcare providers or aggregators for pennies on the dollar, the survey's findings demonstrated that the system is biased against American workers. Because of the inadequate financing of our healthcare system, medical debt is uniquely American. People who lack the funds to repay their debts own the majority of medical debt. Number 16. In the United States, the rate of home ownership was 69.2% in 2004. It is now 65% as housing affordability continues to worsen. 70% of young adults will find it more difficult to purchase a home than their parents' generation did. Number 17. In the first year of the health crisis, 600,000 businesses closed, and among retailers, another 200,000 businesses shut down in 2021, according to the Wall Street Journal. According to UBS estimates, 3,700 chains announced closures this year, which suggests that 80,000 U.S. stores may close by year's end and 150,000 by 2026. Number 18. Food insecurity affected 14.8% of households with children in the United States last year, affecting 13.8 million households at some point in the previous 2 years. In 2021, 584,000 American children will go hungry, according to statistics. So, what's your takeaway from this video? Let us know in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, peace.